Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
Your price is sure with two great names, Frigidaire and General Motors. Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as the man called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find the man called X. Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as Ken Thurston, the man called X.
There you are.
Ken Thurston, New York, huh? Right. I, Monsieur Savadell, welcome you to Papaete, Tahiti.
Thanks, Salvador. By the way, what's this mine accident I heard about? Somewhere in this vicinity, wasn't it?
Terrible tragedy, Monsieur. Terrible. An explosion. One of our most welcome guests, Monsieur Robert Sullivan, was lost in it. Oh, such a nice gentleman, too. So quiet, so refined, so hard-working, so...
Yeah, young tree. Where'd Sullivan usually hang out, you know?
Well, frequently at the Café Chinois down on the waterfront. But I do not think that you would care to patronize a place like that.
Café Chinois, huh? This the key to my room?
Oui, monsieur. Room 25. It is quite comfortable, I assure you, and if there is anything...
I'll see you later, Salvador.
Oui, monsieur Thurston, oui.
Howdy, Savadell. Looks like we got a new homesteader around these parts.
And of just what concern is this to you, Monsieur Cook?
Let's see. What brand he put down for himself in the register? Ken Thurston. Well, that just goes to show.
To show what, Monsieur Cook?
Savadell, I'd have swore that hombre would have signed that register just by making an X.
Yes, master, your drink, so.
Must be some mistake, waiter. I didn't order any. Martini. With an onion in it. Wait a minute. Who ordered this for me?
Number one gentleman over there. Yes, excuse, please, excuse.
Number one gentleman. Oh, no, not again.
Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Hey, gone, Zelsford. I thought I'd give you the brush in Singapore.
Oh, I followed you down here. Special chartered job aeroplane. We even got here ahead of you. So here I am ready to offer you my invaluable assistance.
No, thanks, Payne.
But, Mr. Thurston...
Well, monsieur, you're enjoying the pleasures of Chinois.
I wasn't, but seem to believe in it further.
Hello, baby. Sit down and converse with us. Even talk, maybe.
Yes, Najda would like to talk. About First Street Marriage, Mr. Thurston.
First Street Marriage?
The door to your right. It leads to a small garden. I shall meet you there in 2 minutes' time.
Mr. Thurston, you surprise even me. Such a fast talker I never saw. Well, shall we go out to the garden?
See you later, Pagan.
Huh? But Mr. Thurston... Oh, well. Waiter, take back this martini.
Okay, now then. What's this all about?
Mr. Thurston, both No, monsieur. I know he was worried about the phosphate mine. And I am certain he did not die by accident.
That's all right. Who else might know something about this?
There was one man. Bob would speak with him quite often at Chinois. Professor Powers.
Powers? Who's Professor Powers?
He owns a plantation back in the hills, near the mine. They had many long talks together. Perhaps he knows something.
That all?
No. There is another. A man who comes from...
No, hold it, Nazar. Something moving over there. Quiet now. Down. No. Nazar, you hurt.
Sure. A man.
Yes, Nazar. What was it?
Tall man.
Texas? Nazar.
Wow. Looks like the gal got killed, don't it? Reckon maybe those shots were meant for you, Mr. X?
Mr. Thurston, why do we have to ride through this jungle anyway?
This is the road to Professor Powers' plantation and the phosphate mine.
But why do we have to go to these places tonight?
That Texan wasn't hanging around just for the fun of it. There's something big going on here. We got to find out what it is fast.
Mr. Thurston, you got this Johnny Cook all wrong. He wouldn't do.
All right, Fagon, let's have it. What do you know about him?
Well, it was like this. I wanted to come to Tahiti to help you, you understand? But I had a little problem.
Yeah, you were broke. Go on.
Yes, well, there was this seaplane at the docks. And I heard Johnny Cook say he was flying here. So...
I see. How much is Cook paying you to keep an eye on me?
Mr. Thurston.
All right, Fagon. Now, there's the mine entrance up ahead. We'll go the rest of the way on foot.
But, Mr. Thurston, I don't get it. Why should we...
Oops! Stop right there, gentlemen.
Well, a little late in the season for manhunting, isn't it? Who are you?
You can forget about my name. And if you're thinking of entering the mine tonight, forget about that, too. Come on, get away from here. And if you think I don't mean...
The mine! It's gone.
Yeah, Pagon, buried. Under hundreds of tons of rock.
Look at that girl. She's coming towards us. Mr. Thurston, but that cannon over here.
Well, gentlemen, the mine is completely destroyed. Bob Sullivan is dead. Najda's dead. Somebody's guilty, and somebody's going to pay.
Any idea who?
There's a very good one. And I'm looking at him right now. Mr. X.
Continue with Frigidaire's Man Called X, starring Robert Marshall. With Europe in desperate need of phosphates to help ease the critical world food shortage, Ken Thurston of Tahiti investigating a series of so-called accidents occurring to a big phosphate mine.
Well, anyone else you'd like to blame for this mine explosion, Mr. X?
No, it looks as though I'd better come up with someone. Yes, just as soon as I take that rifle away from you.
Oh, that door!
There. That's better.
I should have killed you first and asked questions afterwards.
Is that Johnny Cook's advice?
Johnny told me that... I thought you think you're pretty smart.
Who are you?
Maida Boyd, I'm Professor Powers' niece.
What's that supposed to tell me?
Everything or nothing? Any other questions?
A couple. But they can wait.
Then if you're quite through with me, I think I'd like to...
Sure, anything you say.
Thanks. All right, boy.
I'll be seeing you around, Mr. Thurston. The next time I won't take any chances.
Ah, it is Monsieur Thurston. Come in, please. Come in.
Thanks, Sabado. What are you doing here, Professor Powers?
Well, my nightly chess game with the professor, monsieur. It is delightful relaxation after my trying days at the hotel.
What is it, Sabado? Guest?
Ah, mais oui. Monsieur Thurston, Professor Powers.
Huh? Sorry to interrupt your game, but I thought you'd like to know about the phosphate mine next door to you. Someone blew it up a little while ago.
Blew up the... Oh, monsieur, what are you saying? This is unbelievable.
Well, don't tell me you didn't hear the explosion.
Well, we did hear it, monsieur, but we mistook it for thunder. A storm brewing in the hills.
Yes.
There's a storm brewing, all right, Sabado. Only it isn't in the hills. It's among the hungry people in this world. By the way, you're a physics professor, aren't you, Powers?
Yes, I was before I retired. But how'd you know?
The door to your laboratory is open. I see you have a cathode ray tube and a Geiger counter in there. All right. Sorry to disturb your game, gentlemen. I'll let you figure out your next move in peace, Professor. Though even a child could tell that almost any move you make would put him in checkmate. Good night, Sabado. Go straight to the hotel, Pagon. If the chief calls before I get back about a cablegram I sent him, you take the message for me, see?
Can always depend on Mr. Zelschmidt.
Oh, yeah.
Well, where are you going?
Down to the harbor.
Harbor? There's nothing down there but boats.
And Johnny Cook's seaplane. Strange kind of safe to have aboard a seaplane.
Well, howdy, Thurston.
Hello, Cook. I didn't expect you back so soon.
Yeah, I reckon.
Sometimes since I've seen a safe made of lead instead of steel.
Yeah, that's right. Now, why would a man want a safe made of lead, do you reckon?
If you'll put down that 45 for a minute, we can talk it over.
I don't know if I rightly should, Thurston. What do you think, Maida?
Maida?
That's right, Mr.
Oh, that was right neat, honey, right neat.
Johnny, what was he doing here?
I'll tell you later, sugar. Got a little old job to do first.
Job?
Yeah, wait till I tote him over to the cargo door. Yeah. Mighty peaceful out yonder in the harbor, Thurston. I reckon maybe you could sleep right comfortable out there.
Mr. Thurston residence, a hotel room, that is.
École for Monsieur Thurston from les États-Unis. Go ahead, please.
Hello? Hello, that you, Ken?
Oh, hello, Mr. Chief. How's the weather in New York?
I'll take that call, Pagon.
Huh? Oh, sure, Mr. Thurston. Hey, you're so slopping wet. What happened?
I was lucky. Miss Boyd didn't hit hard enough.
Huh?
Hello, Chief. What have you got for me on Johnny Cook?
Ken, he's a former pilot in the 8th Air Force, Thunderbird Squadron.
Thunderbird. That's the one Bob Sullivan flew in. That may explain a lot of things.
Not to me, it doesn't. Anyway, since the war, he's been flying a freelance cargo plane out of Tahiti. That's about all I have right now. What about you?
Things are plenty hot here. Sounds like we've got listeners, Chief. I'll call you later. So long. Pagon, what do you know about that lead safe Johnny brought back from Singapore?
Safe? Oh, you mean the one Professor Powers wanted?
Powers? Sure, I should have known. It all ties in.
Huh? What ties in with both?
Phony chess games, Geiger counters, phosphate mines. Come on, Pagon. We're going back to that plantation.
Let's go back to the hotel, Mr. Thurston. Nobody's home here.
With all those lights burning, maybe the door. Yeah. Let's go in.
Joint's empty.
try the laboratory.
Look at all this junk. Tubes, bottles, gas burners. What a mess. I remember... Mr. Rex, that old shoe lying under the bench. There's a foot on it.
Yeah. Professor Powers' foot. He's dead, Pedro.
But who killed him and why?
Maybe that great powder on his shoes can tell us.
So that's where all those dusty footprints came from. What about you tasting it, Mr. Thurston? It's only dust.
The phosphate salt. Powers was in that mine tonight.
But the entrance was burned to pieces. How could they get in?
That wouldn't be tough if there was another influence from this plantation. Now, if we can follow those footprints. Wait till I take this gadget with me. Okay, let's go.
Mr. Thurston, what are we going to do with that little box?
There you go. We're going to play detective.
Why did we have to come down this hotel ground? Anyways, just because we found a tunnel in the hillside doesn't mean we have to... That sound, what was it? What was that? It's coming from the box you're carrying. A time bomb? You're carrying a time bomb? It's going to explode.
Pagon, this is a Geiger counter. Fixed that way in the presence of radioactivity. And it's done its detecting job for us. I'll shut it off.
Detecting job? What did that thing detect?
Take a look at the walls of that crosscut opening into this tunnel.
Okay, Mr. X, I'm looking. So what?
That's pitch blende. The ore that contains radium.
Radium?
That's why the Geiger counter clicked. And that's why somebody sabotaged this mine.
It is?
To gain control of that ore. And that's the reason for Professor Powers' lead safe. It's the only way you can handle that stuff. He was... Quiet, listen, quiet.
Mr. X, somebody there with us. He's coming this way.
Yeah. Turn off that flashlight. Hello, Maida.
Ken Thurston.
That's right. What are you doing down here? Trying to find out why your uncle was so interested in this mine?
Yes, I was. What difference does that make?
It don't make any. We caught you cold-handed looking for this radio ore. She's the guilty one, Mr. Thurston. Let's take her away.
Not so fast, Pagon. She's not guilty of anything.
Huh? But at the mine where she shot us and knocking you out. And now...
She was trying to protect the mine and her uncle.
Huh? Well, then it's like I said all the time, Johnny Cook.
Wrong again, Pagon. It was Mr. Sabadell.
What?
Sabadell, the hotel clerk?
That is quite correct, monsieur.
Mr. Sabadell, what are you...
Mr. X, it's him.
Do not move, any of you. You will notice I have a gun in my hand. I can shoot quite straight with it, I assure you.
Nudge down Professor Powers found that out.
Quite so. But then Powers had outlived his usefulness to me.
Yeah. After he'd analyzed the pitch blende for you and discovered it held more than radium.
Then you know what else it contained, Monsieur Thurston?
Sabadell, pitch blende is just the common name for oxide of uranium.
Uranium?
That's right. That's right, Maida. That's why we were in the cure for it. Bob Sullivan, Najda, Powers.
Oui, monsieur, and now it is you.
Not this time, Sabadell. This thing's too big to let you get away with it. Let's have that gun.
Do not be an heroic fool, Thurston. You'll be dead long before you reach me.
Well, I'm going to try. Let me have it, Sabadell.
Very well, monsieur, but not the way you wish. Now that you are close enough so I cannot possibly miss.
Mr. X!
Well, howdy. Looks like I potted me a genuine ring-tailed skunk.
Yeah. Thanks, Cook. That was good shooting. I figured Maida wouldn't be down here alone.
Huh? Mr. Thurston, you're alive. It's that Sabadell who's there.
Ain't it the truth?
Then you heard, Johnny. We were wrong about Mr. Thurston. Wrong all the time.
Sure were, honey, but Bob Sullivan told me to keep an eye open for Ken Thurston, the man called X. How was I to know he meant a pure blood? Instead of being the maverick, I figured it murdered him.
Well, so you took things in your own hands. Made your own rules. Just like Sabadell did. That's no good, Johnny. This world of ours has got too small and shaky for any man to play the game his own way, according to his own rules. Whether the stakes are food or uranium, there's only one way a game that it'll end, Johnny. In a checkmate for all of us.
Now, before introducing our star, Herbert Marshall, once again, I'd like to read a telegram which is addressed to him from the head of the Columbia Broadcasting System. Bart, I'm sure you won't mind my reading it on the air.
Of course not, Wendell.
It says, Dear Bart, heartiest congratulations to you and your sponsor, Frigidaire Division of General Motors Corporation, on the completion of 100 consecutive Frigidaire shows. May I say to you personally and to everybody connected with the man called X that I think you're doing a grand job. Best proof of that is the millions of people who listen to you every Sunday night at this time. Now, as you start on your way to the 200th Frigidaire show, all of us at CBS send our very best wishes to all of you on the man called X. Signed, William S. Paley, Chairman of the Board, Columbia Broadcasting System.
Well, Wendell, what can I say in answer to something like that except thanks, CBS. Thanks on behalf of our sponsor, Frigidaire, with whom we are celebrating this 100th broadcast. And thanks to you, our listening audience, for your loyalty, week after week. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X is directed by Jack Johnstone, with music composed and conducted by Johnny Green. Tonight's story was written by Sidney Marshall, and so, until next week, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. All characters and incidents used on this program are fictitious, and any resemblance to actual persons or incidents is purely coincidental. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Your price is sure with two great names, Frigidaire and General Motors. Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as the man called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find the man called X. And now Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as Ken Thurston, the man called X. It was a cunning and deadly scheme with a pattern that touched 3 countries and crisscrossed an ocean between. Ken Thurston is called in late, but then the last stages of any game are always the most dangerous.
I don't know whether you heard about the deal or not, Ken. I'll know more about it when Miss Brooks gets that call through to Pringle. Anyway, one of the food commissions up here in the U.S. contracted to buy $1 million order of canned beef from the Ganavan Export Packing Company in Montevideo.
Ganavan Export.
Yeah. In fact, they advanced half the payment to this company so they could step up operations and make quicker delivery. The canning job was finished about 10 days ago.
The meat intended for European relief?
It was.
What do you mean, Chief?
Well, the inspector for the commission airmailed sample cans to Washington the first of the week. Ken, every sample was spoiled. The only thing he could do was order the whole shipment destroyed.
Oh, fine. And with the food situation over there the way it is.
Yeah, well, it's probably nothing more than a bum job of processing. But anyway, Pringle went down there, and I had the papers on the deal sent up here to the Bureau. In fact, they only got here a little while ago. Good Lord.
What's the matter, Chief?
Well, this report, look how it's signed.
Food Commission Inspector, Uruguay Division, P. Shipment. Pagon.
Now, how the sandhill did that bird-brained little scoundrel ever get tied up with... excuse me, this must be... Yes, Miss Brooks? Fine. She's through to Montevideo.
Good.
Hello? Hotel Regina? Let me talk to William Pringle. What? No. No, thanks. Ken.
All right, Chief, let's have it.
Bill Pringle was accidentally killed at 1:45 this afternoon. He fell out of his locomotive.
Bill Pringle. Bill Pringle, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Maybe it was an accident. But if it wasn't, then somebody's going to pay for it. You can count on that. Chief, I'm going to Montevideo. way, Lieutenant Levine? Straight ahead?
Yes, Senor Thurston. The office is there in the far corner of the way.
Yeah. I see. Lieutenant, what do you know about this Mr. Gallivant?
Very little, senor. Except that he is the owner of this concern. The export packing company has never been subject to police investigation before.
Oh, it isn't now. It's just that I'm following a hunch, that's all. Oh, seems the visitor leaving.
Again, my thanks, Mr. Gallivant. You may be able to work things out. Very well. Oh, well, Lieutenant Rubin.
I'm sorry, I don't believe... Ah, yes, the lady from France.
Yes, Lieutenant. Randonelli, remember?
But of course, I checked your passport when you arrived on the plane yesterday. May I present Senor Thurston?
Senor Thurston? Resident of this beautiful little city, monsieur?
No, I just got in from the States a few hours ago. Fancy they're both visitors.
How nice. And have we not found a lovely place to visit? Imagine having summer in December.
No, of course it'll be winter here next July. Things usually balance up, mademoiselle.
Yes, I suppose they do. I never thought of it that way. I am staying at the Hotel Museum, monsieur. Au revoir.
Senor Thurston, I envy you. In 1 minute, you have made a conquest. Yes, it's elegant, charming. And the perfume she was wearing.
Yes, Lieutenant, Mr. Gallivant, remember?
Of course. Shall we go in?
Oh, Lieutenant Rubin, come in.
Thank you. Senor Gallivant, this is Senor Thurston.
Thurston?
Senor Thurston is from the bureau in New York.
I see. Won't you sit down, gentlemen?
Senor Gallivant, the little lady who left, she is a friend of yours, perhaps?
Mr. Malloy? Charming, isn't she? Sorry I couldn't oblige her. She wanted a job.
You don't see how you could refuse her.
Well, it wasn't easy. Mr. Thurston, if the commission sent you down here to turn the heat on for the money they advance, well, I haven't got it, and I don't know how I can get it.
I'm not interested in money right at the moment, Mr. Gallivant, but I would like to know what caused the whole shipload of canned meat to turn out bad.
So would I. When your inspector called and gave me that report from Washington, I just couldn't believe him.
Now, as I understand it, the commission ordered the shipment destroyed. Is that right?
Yes, and that'd mean another big expense, if it hadn't been for the generosity of Monsieur Valtoun.
Who's Valtoun?
I only met him 2 days ago, a man with a badly scarred face. He's an agent for the French-Uruguay steamship lines, arranged to take the stuff aboard the New York-bound freighter Polonaise. It left Montevideo yesterday.
But the entire order's condemned. Why ship it New York?
Well, they put it in deck storage. It'll be dumped at sea.
It is tragic for the hurting people in Europe who needed that food. I think it will be quite unfortunate for Mr. Valtoun.
I swear by the father of my father...
Oh, pipe down, pagan.
But
Inspector Welshman.
Mr. X, you always said I should work at something honest for a change. You were joking, of course. But
you can't even spell honest.
A capital O-N...
Oh, skip it. Whatever gave you the idea of working for the Food Commission in the first place?
For $500 a month? I mean, I saw my duty. And I did it practically graphically. Why, the general manager of the Congress called me up and said...
I've already seen that letter of recommendation.
Said to me, he said, oh, you mean the letter you wrote?
I mean the letter you wrote and signed my name to.
But you were out of town. And anyway, I knew how you felt about it.
Oh, sure. Irreproachable character, highest ethics, a genius who speaks 9 languages fluently.
But...
You can't even speak 1 language.
But...
Down here to sample $1 million meat order. Why, you wouldn't know how to sample shoe polish.
Huh? That just goes to show you. So I didn't. I hired an expert.
You what?
Sure, a little Euro guy named Pedro Zapato. What a sucker. He did it for practically nothing.
I'll bet.
Well, he was recommended by my very close friend, Monsieur Noble. The French consul, you know.
And how did you get to be a close friend of a French consul?
Oh, he dropped around last week just to pay a socialist call, you understand?
Yeah. Maybe I do understand, Pagan. Tell me, what does this Monsieur Noble look like?
Very distinguished. Strictly first-class big shot. Why, he used to fight duels, Mr. X. Scars all over his face.
And so I can assure you, Monsieur Thurston, that during the 3 years I have been company agent here in Montevideo, no one by the name of Valtoun has ever been connected with the French-Uruguay line. And also, as I told you, the French consul has been up in Panama for the past 10 days. hopefully not return before sometime next week.
I see. There's one more thing. One of your freighters, the Polonaise, sent New York yesterday.
Oh, but you've been misinformed, monsieur. The Polonaise is bound for Le Havre, France, not New York.
What do you know about a shipment of canned meat to be dumped overboard somewhere at sea?
Oh, monsieur, joking. There ain't no such shipment.
Huh?
A large consignment of the type was shipped by, yes, Mr. Smith.
Smith, eh?
But most certainly not to be dumped overboard. You see here? Here. Destination, Le Havre, France.
Do you happen to remember anything about the appearance of this Mr. Smith?
Oh, just an ordinary man, except for some rather deep scars on his face.
Well, thanks for your trouble. I won't take up any more of your time.
Oh, no trouble at all. The motto of our line is service with a smile, at low cost.
You're inspiring. Good day.
So here you are, Mr. Thurston. I thought you were going to stay there all day.
If I'd known you were out here, I would have. Well, so long, Pagan.
But Mr. Rex, he said for us to wait right here in the bottom of this little alley. He went to make a phone call.
Who did?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Your very dear friend, the French consul.
I see. He came down here with you, huh?
Oh, sure. He's very anxious to meet you. As soon as he gets back, of course.
Yes. Gets back from Panama, as a matter of fact.
Huh? Mr. Rex, what's the matter with that driver? Hey, look out where you're backing that truck.
Wait, there's no driver in that truck?
But then why...
Never mind, move, fast.
Oh, no. Mr. Thurston, it hit that building. Right where we were standing.
Yeah. Nice if it's still been there.
But we never made it. Oh, there's the consul now getting in the car street. Look, up the street. You-hoo! Here we are, right over... Mr. Rex, he's driving off.
License number 4C697.
I guess he didn't see us, Mr. Thurston.
There you go. You want a bit?
Why don't you get a suite in my hotel?
Understand the glamour, Pagan. Diplomats, consuls all over the place.
I still don't understand why he drove off down the street.
No. You know. Go on in.
Anyway, if he's not a consul, then what's all this all about?
Pagan, it's about $1 million worth of canned meat that somebody wants to make $5 million out of on the French black market.
Oh, well, and that... Mr. Rex, what kind of a shaving lotion do you use?
Not the kind you're smelling. It's a little French import named Jean Brioni. I've got a visitor.
French import? That reminds me, how could anybody sell that meat when it's no good?
That's what I'm going to ask your helper as soon as I can get Lieutenant Rubin to pick him up.
You mean my friend Pedro Zapato? But he...
Hello, operator. Get me Lieutenant Rubin of the Montevideo Police. No, never mind, operator.
But Mr. Thurston, how come you change your mind?
Well, I'm pretty sure that the police hunt for a man and we'll never know where he is.
Huh?
Yes. Don't take a look behind this man.
And now to continue Frigidaires' Man Called X, starring Robert Marshall. Somewhere out in the South Atlantic, a cargo of canned meat is heading for the French black market. While down in Uruguay a few minutes ago, Ken Thurston walked into his hotel suite to find the murdered body of Pedro Zapato, the man who might supply some of his answers. Right now, Ken and Pagan are making a hurried visit to Pedro's home.
There's something very suspicious about that Lieutenant Rubin fellow, Mr. Thurston. Why should he have this address of Pedro's in his file?
That alleged assistant of yours was a crook, Pagan. And he was working for a killer.
I don't see how you can say such things. Why, the French consul himself, Monsieur...
Monsieur which? Noble or Walton or Smith? He's been all three.
Well, all right, then. I suppose you think I'm stupid.
Pagan, don't tempt me. All 26B. Here we are.
The door's open.
Oh.
You can see maybe somebody's here.
Anyway, still that same perfume.
Yeah. Hey, look at this joint.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. X, why should anybody tear everything up?
Maybe somebody didn't want Pedro's apartment to do any talking. Dead or alive.
Mr. X, Mr. X. Oh, the telephone.
Hello?
Senor Thurston?
Lieutenant Rubin. Somebody's already been here. They've torn the place to pieces.
That I was afraid of. But I have traced the license number you gave.
No, let's hear it.
The car belongs to a public rental agency at 104 Avenue Positas.
104. I will proceed. All right, Lieutenant, now's the time to put the lid on. Lock every exit out of room to the jail. Make it fast.
Ah, yes, indeed, senores. That number is the license of one of our autos. The car is sitting in the back room at the moment.
When was it turned in?
That particular car was rented by the customer at precisely 1:48 yesterday afternoon.
1:48.
It was returned this evening at 5:26, something over 1 hour ago.
And who was the customer?
Mr. Smith.
Smith, eh? With a scarred face?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Your friend again, Pagan?
You know, Mr. Thurston, it's funny he never told me his name was really Smith. It is somewhat remarkable, this inquiry of yours. Only a little while ago, a young lady was asking about the same man.
So? What did she look like?
Ah, ravishing. Such elegance, such style, such...
Such perfume.
But how did you know?
He followed out to the dale. He's on foot, and he can't but will hide that face. Pagan, start working from here. Ask every cab, drive up the avenue if you've seen this Smith or Valton or Limble guy.
Mr. Thurston, you can count on me.
When you find out anything, I'll be at the hotel. Now get moving.
I'll drag the double-crosser in by my heels.
Oh, Pagan, remember how Pedro looked?
Sure, I'll mutilate him. I'll... Oh, no. Hello, Mr. Thurston. Oh, I didn't know you were talking on the phone.
Hello, Ken.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, she's listed all right in the French file. Jeanne de Leone. Want a description of her?
Oh, no, Chief, I don't need it. I've seen her.
Now, look, Ken, if you've got some...
Thanks a lot. So long, Chief. Pagan, why aren't you busy trying to track Valton?
Because I have already. Is that the expert packing company joined?
Sure about that?
Well, that's where some cab driver took him about an hour ago.
An hour ago. Oh, come on, Pagan, let's go.
I don't see why you don't use that flashlight.
Only Pagan. There's a lot of him there in the office.
Oh, to do with the problem hold, forget it.
Wait. Maybe you can use this flashlight right now. Better put up your hands, Mr. Leone.
Hey, that's a French cookie.
Hi. You see, I became lost here in his office, Mr. Thurston, and I was going to call him Mr. Garavan.
No, don't take your gun. Thanks. Mr. Leone, I know who you are. I know what you are.
But how could you know?
Well, because he is the man called X. He...
Oh, no.
Go on. Let's go ahead and pay that visit you were planning.
Huh? Oh, Mr. Thurston. Inspector Zout
Good evening, Mr. Garavan.
Mr. Gallagher, we just caught a housebreaker outside of your warehouse. This little cauliflower here.
What? Oh, it's Miss De Leone. Say, what's going on here?
Can't blame you for wondering, Mr. Garavan. You're coming pretty fast in this game. Has Mr. Valton been here?
Valton? Well, of course not. As far as I know, he's on a freighter headed for New York.
Mr. Thurston, I just figured it out. This guy Gallagher is Valton.
What?
Well, sure, why not? He uses makeup to look like scars on his face. He's just a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Grab it.
Oh, pipe down, Pagan. I saw Valton and he didn't weigh any more than Mr. Leone here.
Then who is guilty, Mr. Thurston?
Mr. Valton.
Huh? Who's that?
Come in, Lieutenant.
Who is...
I came as quickly as possible after I received your message, Senor Thurston.
You're right on time, Lieutenant Rubin. The only person you need now is Mr. Valton.
And I suppose you are going to tell us what has happened to him.
Yes. I wouldn't reach into that blow, Mr. Gallivan. The physical being is recovered.
You will please not move, Senor Gallivan.
Fagon, that looks like a closet back to the desk there. Why don't you take a look?
Oh, sure, Mr. Biff, I'll be glad to.
We have to have the place searched, Lieutenant, but I did smell powder smoke when I came in here.
It's him. Wilford. He's in there with holes all over him.
Well, Mr. Gallivan?
He's the one who did it, Bolton. He talked me into it. He's the one who killed Pringle and Zapato.
Oh, no. He might have killed Pedro Zapata, but not Bill Pringle. Because at the very moment that happened, Bolton was halfway across town running a car.
What?
Bill Pringle was my friend, Gallivan. Before I came down here, I swore somebody was going to pay for killing him. All right now, talk and tell the truth.
Wait a minute. Where does this little Vilioni number fit in?
Pedro, Mademoiselle de Leon is an agent of the French service there.
Huh? That is correct, monsieur. You see, I followed Monsieur Bolton from France when he was one of the leaders of the black market.
Well, that's that, Mr. Preston. I guess we did it.
Oh, sure. Yes, we did it all right. Mademoiselle, I suggest you came to your headquarters and arrange a reception for that freighter when it gets to the Havre.
I shall take care of the matter, Monsieur Preston. And may I offer my sympathy in the loss of your friend?
Thanks, Mademoiselle. I don't know. He died so a cargo of food could reach the starving people it was meant for. Maybe it's a very small reason for a man to give up his life. Maybe it's the biggest reason in the world.
Frigidaire star, Herbert Marshall.
Thanks for being with us. Next week, our story is called Delta Concerto. And don't let that title fool you, because it's packed with mystery and suspense. As usual, Leon Velasco will be along in the role of Fagon's housemate. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the man called X. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X is directed by Jack Johnstone, with music composed and conducted by Johnny Green. Tonight's story was written by Les Crutchfield. So until next week, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. All characters and incidents used on this program are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons or incidents is purely coincidental. Remember, every Sunday night brings you two popular dramatic shows on CBS, The Man Called X and The Adventures of Sam Spade. Yes, for the best in entertainment, tune in and stay tuned in to CBS, the biggest show in town. This is CBS and Columbia Broadcasting System. Your choice is sure with two great names, Frigidaire and General Motors. Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as The Man Called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, in all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find The Man Called X. Frigidaire. Now Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as Ken Thurston, The Man Called X. A cold breeze, heavy with the dampness of night, lays clammy hands on the Italian city of Naples. In the darkness along the deserted Via della Rosa, a man walks down toward the dark area. Then, as he nears the entrance of a rubbish-strewn alley...
Senor.
Hello there, what's wrong?
My brother, senor, is sick. Very bad sick. In the alley, senor.
Huh? What alley?
Oh, senor. Per favore, please.
Why, sure, let's have a look at it.
Oh, grazie, senor. Grazie. Is he here?
It's kind of dark in here, little one. Where is he?
Right above you, senor.
Guido, you hit so hard with that paving stone, you have killed him.
What is the matter, Bianca? Here, let me go through his pockets. Ah, look, little sister. American money, cigarettes, on these papers. You hold on while I strike a match. You see? These are the ones. And this letter proves it. You see? This is the man they call X.
For the last time, Pagon, no. I'm not going to give you Ken Thurston's address. I forwarded your airmail letter to him, and that's that.
But Mr. X hasn't answered yet, Mr. Chief. And he owes me money for work I did. I'll start to them.
Oh, here. He asked me to give you this. A petty cash voucher for $20. Miss Brooks will cash it for you.
$20? What a measly amount for all I did.
Well, of course, if you don't want it,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yes, Miss Brooks.
A call for you, sir, from Naples.
Naples? I'll tell you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Thanks, Miss Brooks. Hello, Chief.
Ken, what's the good word? Anything new on the hijacking of those American relief shipments?
Oh, no, Chief. I only got here yesterday.
Oh, yes, of course. But, Ken, that gang's getting away with murder. And the ship carrying grain seed is due to arrive there tomorrow. Now, you know what kind of a prize that'd make for them.
Yeah. These people are hungry. They'd rather have grain seed than pearls. That's why I called. Now, what have we got on Alfredo Sicanolfi?
Sicanolfi represents the Ministry of Agriculture there in Naples. He's a petty politician who straddled a shaky fence during the war. Looks like a shady customer from here.
Wouldn't happen to have any, children, would he?
Children?
Yeah. A couple of kids were interested in getting a paper from me. Taking off his plans for storing and shipping that seed.
I don't get it. What have kids got to do with this?
I don't know yet. I'll let you know later. So long.
But Ken... now what in blazes did he mean by that? Well. All right, Pagon, now we'll... Well...
Yes, sir?
Is Pagon Zelschmidt out there, Miss Brooks?
No, sir. He left right after I paid him the $200.
After you paid him what?
The $200. The voucher you gave him.
Why, that chiseling... He raised that voucher from 20. Where'd he go?
From what I understood him to say, Chief, he's taking a business trip to Naples.
I tell you, Senor Thurston, I do not like this. That paper contained the time that the seed was to arrive. The place we intended to store it, the freight routings, everything that the gang of thieves could wish to know if they intend to steal it.
Nothing will happen to it, Sicanolfi, if I can get the information I'm after. That's the connection between children in the dock area and the hijacking of relief shipments.
There's nothing unusual about children in the dock area, Senor. There are many like that everywhere. Flotsam of the war. No hope for them. They would be better off dead. Well, this is something I keep telling Francesca.
Francesca?
My secretary, always trying to do something for them. Idealistic little fool. But why should you concern yourself over these lost children? They will all end up on the gallows anyway.
Yeah, they could end up as stormtroopers in another world war.
Signor Sicanolfi is very kind. But I am afraid my efforts are feeble ones. It is a great problem.
Yeah, Francesca. In the war, it's the kids of the world who really get it in the neck.
And there are thousands of them.
Tell me, do you have any luck with Guido and Bianca?
Those names are not familiar to me, Signor Thurston.
I'm pretty sure those are the names, though I wasn't too conscious at the time. Oh, well, I've taken up enough of your time tonight.
Must you leave so soon, Signor? Why not join me in a cup of coffee? I promise it will be very good. American coffee.
Sounds wonderful after that boiled mud they serve in the hotel. Now I got work to do. I'll take a rain check on it. Maybe we've had a chance. Oh, clumsy of me. I'm sorry. I've knocked your papers off the desk. Here now. There you are.
Gracias. But haven't you forgotten one, Signor?
Yes? No. No, this belongs to me.
Belongs to you? But how could it be here?
That's what I was wondering. Got a lot of dope on it about seed shipments. Good night, Francesca. Arrivederci.
Mr. Thurston? Were you here, Mr. Thurston? Wait up for me. I'm coming. Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Hello, Pagan. You had any trouble finding me in the dark?
That's a cinch. I got eyes like... Hey, you're not surprised to see me.
Why should I be? I talked to the chief again. He used some pretty strong language about you and a petty cash voucher.
But, Mr. Thurston, I can explain everything. It was all a big mistake.
Your biggest mistake was finding me here down at the docks. You're going to work.
Work? Oh, no.
You've got $180 to earn. Or go to jail for forgery.
180? But... That leaves me between the frying pan.
Yeah, doesn't it?
But, Mr. Thurston, all right. I'll go to work.
Okay. You're starting right now. Come on.
Yes, sir. But why are we going down this dark alley?
A ship carrying grain seed docked a couple of hours ago. This Manadroni warehouse is where Sikonofi planned to store the seed. Let's try this rear door. Oh, come on in.
Mr. Thurston, compared to this, that alley was a sun garden.
Quiet, there's something.
You...
What's the matter with you?
I stepped on something. Oh, a window dummy.
A window dummy in here, you idiot.
That's what worries me, because if it isn't... Mr. X, turn off the flashlight. It's not a dummy.
The night watchman.
That sticker in his throat. Who did it, Mr. X? And why?
Fagan, I told you that Sikonofi planned to store the seed in here, didn't I?
Then what happened to it? Look at all those storage bins.
Yeah, look at them. Empty.
Now to continue with Frigidaire's Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall. Ken's assignment in Naples has proved that war wreaks its heaviest toll on the innocents of this world, the children. For the dock areas abound with youthful scavengers, some of whom he suspects are involved in the hijacking of American relief shipments. Now in the darkness of the La Madrone warehouse, it seems that a shipment of American grain seed has apparently disappeared.
We got this too late, Mr. X. Somebody bumped off the watchman and scrammed the seeds out of here.
Nobody got any seeds. They were never in here.
But that Mr. Sikonofi's plan.
I had the seeds shipped to the Madre de Santos warehouse instead.
Well, then why did they come here in the first place?
Somebody was after those seeds, and they didn't know they were moved.
Who do you think it is?
Whoever it is, Pagan, they pay a lot to learn where that seed is right now.
They would?
Oh, sure. It was worth a fortune to them on the black market.
It would? Mr. Thurston, you don't think maybe this Sikonofi could be the guy, do you?
What's the difference?
Huh?
You'll find out it's at the Madre de Santos warehouse.
Of course not. How could he? How... Mr. Thurston, why are you looking at me like that? You don't think that I would possibly... Oh, Mr. Thurston, I swear by the father of my father of my father of my... Father of my father of my father, Mr. Sikonofi, the grain seed is there in the Madre de Santos Claus warehouse. Yeah. And all I want for this information, like I told you, is... Thank you. Just right. Yeah. $180.
Careful, Francesca.
My last pair of silk stockings. Well, it is a small price to pay for a clear conscience.
What made you break down and stand for me?
Because I believed you were sincere. And it was foolish to deny that I knew Guido and Bianca. Especially after you found the paper in my apartment they stole from you.
Yeah.
I had learned what they had done, Ken, and I took the paper from them. I did not tell you at first for fear you would punish them, and they have been punished enough.
There are young thousands like them, Francesca, living in bombed-out ruins like this one. Trying to scrape an existence from a world that kicks them around.
There is still hope for them, Ken. With people like you willing to help them. There. You see them? Huddled around that small fire. Hello, Guido.
Francesca.
I've come to visit Guido. I bring a guest with me.
Guido, that man, he's the
Silence,
one...
Bianca. What did you bring this man, Francesca?
Kind of thought we might talk things over a bit.
We have nothing to talk about.
Guido, why don't you try working with the other people in this world instead of against them?
There are no people in this world who care about me or Bianca.
That's where you're wrong. I'd like to prove it to you. Like to give me a chance?
Guido needs no help from you or anybody else.
And I do not need any help either, senor. My brother Guido will take care of me. He has promised.
Yeah, you hear, senor? And that is a promise which I shall keep. Come on, Bianca. We will go.
My offer's still good, Guido. Better think it over.
I can give you the answer right now, senor. Here it is. Arrivederci.
It is worse than I thought, Ken. They are incorrigible.
Oh, well, it's not their fault, Francesca. Or the fault of any of the other kids like them.
Then who is to blame?
People who use them. People who are responsible for what they do, who keep them from having homes and food and warmth and love. They're the guilty ones, Francesca. They're the guilty ones, all right.
Why do we keep wandering around warehouses at night all the time?
This is the last one, Pagan, the Madre di Santos. See there?
Nothing but sacks all around.
Sacks filled with grain seed. And here's where we have the payoff. That reminds me. How'd you make out with Siconote?
Oh, that was a cinch. He came right across the...
Yes. Yeah, thanks for baiting the trap for me.
Huh?
Wait. I think somebody's walking into it now. Now, listen.
That's only a truck stopping outside.
Yeah. Now, we may have visitors in here any minute.
Hey, why did you turn on the flashlight? It's pitch dark.
Quiet, listen.
Mr. Rex, somebody's coming in. Oh, no, I'm dead.
Shut up. Quiet, will you? Stop right there, Siconote.
Oh, Thurston.
That's right. Drop the gun. Drop it.
Si, senor.
All right, now. What are you doing here?
Well, I came to protect that seed, senor.
Did you have to drive up in a truck to do that?
I was already here when the truck came. When the banditti entered the warehouse, I opened fire at them.
To protect the seed? Or to warn them that I was here?
Your accusation is unjustified, senores. I think I can prove. I am certain that I shot one of them as he was running outside the door.
Okay, Siconote, let's take a look.
Mr. Rex, look. He did shoot somebody.
Yeah, Pagan, he sure did.
Oh, pobre.
A 12-year-old girl named Bianca.
Guido? Where are you, Guido? Guido?
Hypodermic, nurse.
See, doctor, here.
Guido, you told me was no God. You were wrong, Guido.
Quiet, child.
I can see him now. As plain as I see you. ¿Cómo estás, Dios? How are you? ¿Cómo?
Doctor?
She's in a coma, senor.
What are the chances?
We will not know for a little while. We can only do our best.
I see. Okay. I'll check with you later.
Senor Thurston.
Hello, Guido.
My sister, Senor.
My little Bianca. How is she?
We won't know for a while.
What can I do to help, senor? Tell me. What can I do for her? I promised my little sister I would take care of her. I must help.
Guido, how long has it been since you prayed?
I do not believe in God.
Yeah, I heard Bianca say that. She also said you were wrong. That she had seen him.
Bianca said... She saw the Dios?
Yes. You know, sometimes even tough guys need help. When something means very much to them. Arrivederci, Guido.
Oh, Dios. Darme amor, Dios. Please, save my little sister, Bianca. Oh, save her, Dios. Please, save her, save her.
See, Oh, Ken.
Hello, Francesca. Now, come in.
Well, of course. But it is almost midnight.
I thought I'd bring you up to date on our Aid to Children plan.
No. Something has happened?
Yeah. Guido found out where the seed was stored. He told the person he was working for. They came to get it tonight.
What happened?
There was a slight hitch in their plans. One of the kids was shot.
Oh, no. No. Will she live, Ken?
Just before I left to come over here, the doctor said, yes.
Oh, thank the good Lord for that.
The Lord you don't believe in. The Lord you taught those kids not to believe in.
What are you saying?
You were the one using those kids. They needed help, guidance. But you taught them to steal and lie.
Oh, no, Ken. Oh, you're
the
wrong.
The crime was yours, Francesca. They helped to steal grain and seed, yes. You were robbing them of their souls.
What? Well, this is ridiculous. I explained about that paper.
Oh, sure. And took it to their hiding place to make your story stick. But poor secretaries in Naples can't afford silk stockings, Francesca. Or American coffee in their homes. And you gave yourself away completely by asking if she would live.
Oh.
How did you know it was Bianca who was shot? If you went there?
All right, Ken. So you know. What good do you think it will do you now?
No, Francesca. That gun won't help you. Stikanoff is waiting outside.
Stikanoff?
And the police. You don't stand a chance. Well?
All right, Ken. I will go, but it's cold outside. I will need a rat, and I have one in the next room.
Sure, go ahead. If that's the way you want it. Midnight. 3 days from now, an old year will die, and a new year will be born. Perhaps a better one. The end of one life. The beginning of better new ones for Guido and Bianca. We can't let war ruin their lives again. All the lives of millions like them. That's one resolution we better all make. And keep. Or there may not be many new years ahead for any of us.
Star of our show, Herbert Marshall.
Thank you, Wendell. Next time we come back to you, next Sunday night at this same time, we'll be right at the beginning of a, we hope, bright new year. Thanks very much for being with us during 1947. One of the things we've liked best about the past year has been the knowledge that you were listening. And we trust being entertained by our show. We hope you will be with us next on every Sunday night through 1948. We sincerely hope that for you and for all your friends and loved ones, we hope that 1948 will be a very happy new year.
Well, that certainly goes for all of us here in the studio, Bart, and for our good sponsor, Frigidaire.
And now, just to do a little forecasting for 1948, let's tell the folks about next Sunday's show.
Right. Next week, our story is called Spot the 8-Ball. And I think you'll enjoy it because it really is packed full of excitement and mystery. As usual, Leon Velasco will be along as Pagon Zellschmidt. So join us, won't you, when next I return as The Man Called X. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X is directed by Jack Johnstone, with music composed and conducted by Johnny Green. Tonight's story was written by Sidney Marshall. So until next week, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. All characters and incidents used on this program are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons or incidents is purely coincidental. Remember, every Sunday night brings you two popular dramatic shows on CBS, The Man Called X and The Adventures of Sam Spade. Yes, for the best in entertainment, tune in and stay tuned in to CBS, the biggest show in town. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You're twice as sure with two great names, Frigidaire and General Motors. Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as The Man Called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, in all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find The Man Called X. And now Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as Ken Thurston, The Man Called X. On a cold and gloomy day at LaGuardia Field, Ken and the Chief stand watching a great transatlantic plane take off.
Well, there he goes, Ken.
Yeah, off to London. Sir Robert Beaumont. Chief, I don't know.
Don't know what? Whole thing's simple enough.
Oh, sure. The British Air Ministry makes arrangements ahead of time. Their representative arrives here and presents his credentials. The Army hands him blueprints of the new supersonic missile. And he catches a plane back to England. I agree with you, Chief. It is simple.
Then why worry?
Oh, call it a hunch. Anyhow, we can't do anything here. Come on, Chief. Let's grab a taxi.
If you're looking for a taxi, if this isn't the one, then what is it?
Zellschmidt.
Pagon, oh, no.
Hello, Mr. Thurston. It's about time you noticed.
What are you doing out here?
I just told you, driving a taxi. Come on, get in. Won't even put the flag down.
I'll bet the owner'd like to know about that.
Oh, him, it belongs to Uncle Ahmed, and he's in jail for reckless driving. Come on, I got special rates for very dear friends.
May as well get in, Chief. The only cab around.
Very surprised at you, Mr. Thurston. Saying goodbye to such a no-good crook like that Count Heeland fellow.
Heeland?
Why, Pagan, that was Sir Robert Beaumont.
Huh? No, when I knew him in Istanbul, he was a spy.
Good Lord, Ken, it can't be.
Oh, yes, it can, Chief. Pagon, drive to the office of the Bureau and make it fast.
Well, that must be it, Ken. Here, you take it.
Thanks, Chief. Hello.
It's your call to Wimbledon, England, Mr. Thurston.
Good.
Hello? Who is it?
Sir Robert, my name's Ken Thurston.
Huh?
You don't know me, and I haven't got time to explain.
No, in which case, sir, I fail to understand what business
Nor
you're
can I
in.
understand how you were able to pick up some blueprints here in New York, then be back in England to answer your phone 2 hours later.
You're mistaken, sir. I've not been away from Wimbledon.
What about the supersonic missile designs to be delivered to the British Air Ministry?
I know nothing of any such designs, Mr. Thurston.
Then I think I'd better call the Air Ministry.
No, I strongly advise you against any such foolish proceeding as calling the Air Ministry. In regard to the matter you mentioned, I assure you that everything is quite in order. Good day, sir.
Well, Ken?
Pagon, you say you were a friend of that Heeland fella?
Well, not exactly a friend, Mr. Thurston. He's a crook, you understand, so of course it was a very slight acquaintance.
Oh, sure, yes. Well, starting right now, you're out of the taxi business. Come on. We're going to England.
If this is Wimbledon, Mr. Thurston, then world this tennis court.
Pardon me, is this cab engaged?
Why, no, sir. You're welcome to its services.
Thanks. Get in, Pagan. Do you know where Beaumont Manor is?
Oh, yes, sir. It's about 3 or 4 miles from here.
Good. Well, that's where we're going.
Oh, I say, Jenkins, you're already engaged. Huh?
Well, sorry, Mr. Norman, but perhaps these gentlemen wouldn't mind sharing with you. They're going to the manor themselves.
Oh, it would be a great help if you would, you know. My name is Winston Norman, down from London, you know.
My name's Ken Thurston, Mr. Norman, and this is Mr. Zelschmidt.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? Be glad to have you along.
Oh, thanks very much. Awfully decent of you. I was so afraid that I... Oh, dear.
Thurston, look.
You dropped your gun, Mr. Norman, here.
Thanks. Clumsy of me. I'm not used to getting one, you know.
All right, driver.
It's not customary at all. I mean, I hope you don't think that I was...
Something fishy about you, mister. Maybe you're going out there to bump off old man Beaumont.
Sir Robert? Oh, I say now, after all, he's practically my father-in-law. I'm engaged to his ward, you know.
His ward?
Yes, Lisa Thompson.
So that's why you're going to the manor?
No. Mr. Thurston, I have reason to believe something may be wrong up there.
Yes, I have 1 or 2 reasons like that myself.
Just what business are you in up in London, anyway? Packing a rod.
Oh, I'm not in business at all, Mr. Zelschmidt, if you mean the trades. As a matter of fact, I'm in the office of the Air Minister.
How long do we have to wait here, Mr. X? This room gives me the creeps.
I don't know, Pagan. According to the butler, Sir Robert wanted to see Mr. Norman first.
Oh. Hey, somebody's coming.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Norman?
Mr. Thurston, Sir Robert would like to see you in the billiard room. Alone.
Fine. See you later, Pagan.
Mr. Thurston, don't leave me here with this assassinator.
Talk to him. Entertain him. Tell him about your Aunt Tallulah.
But Mr. Thurston...
An excellent shot, Mr. Thurston. You're quite a proficient billiard player, you know.
Thanks. But, of course, I didn't come here to play billiards, Sir Robert.
I dare say you didn't. Perhaps against the far cushion with a slight spin. Oh.
It's too bad. Takes pretty steady nerves for a shot like that.
Quite so. Why did you come here, Mr. Thurston?
Let's say I didn't want a certain set of blueprints to fall into the wrong hands.
And what, may I ask, would you consider the wrong hands?
For the gadget as deadly as that supersonic missile, any hands might be the wrong ones.
It's your shot, Mr. Thurston.
Yeah. Now, let's try for the cannon off the cush.
Amazing. You're either very skillful or very lucky, Mr. Thurston.
This kind of a game takes a little of both. Where are the blueprints now?
Don't you think that's really the concern of the Air Ministry? After all, the man who received the plans in New York carried the proper credentials, didn't he?
Yes. And he also carried your name.
I have no explanation, no comment.
I see. It's, your shot, Sir Robert.
What a spooky house. Probably haunted. I wish Mr. X would come back. Or even that Mr. Norman character. At least he had a gun. Such pictures they got on the walls. Dead people. Give anybody the heebie-jeebies. Huh? Somebody's there. Coming this way. Who's there?
Get your hands up.
But...
Don't move.
But...
Zelschmidt.
Huh? Oh, Count Heeland, my old friend.
Never mind that old friend stuff. What are you doing here?
Oh, I came here with Mr. Thurston.
Who's Mr. Thurston?
Why, he's the one... No, I can't tell you. Not for $1,000.
Haven't changed, have you? Well, it just happens that I have $1,000 here.
Oh, I couldn't possibly... Ooh.
Who is Thurston?
No, I couldn't.
Who is he?
He's the man called X.
So that's it.
400, 500, and 600. Oh, sure. 700. What are you going to do now?
Nothing, Pagan. Just going to get my $1,000 back.
Huh? Oh, no. Wait. Oh!
Oh, too bad, Sir Robert. You jerked the cue just as it hit the ball. Probably a nervous reflex.
It's out of the question, Mr. Thurston. I can't discuss it with you.
What, the billiard show?
You know quite well what I mean. I have very good reasons, but my ward, Lisa, I simply can't.
You dropped your cue, Sir Robert. Here. What about Lisa?
Can't you leave the subject alone? Won't you simply accept the fact that I can't talk to you about it?
No. With a secret as deadly as that on the loose, I won't accept any kind of lying.
I beg your pardon, sir.
With all due respect to your name and your age, one way or another, you're going to talk.
Very well. I'll tell you what it's all about. It means relying entirely upon your discretion, Mr. Thurston. It's a dangerous business. And if anything goes wrong, then heaven help all of us.
And now to continue with Frigidaire's Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall. Ken's hard-driving questions at last paid off, and Sir Robert Beaumont agreed to tell what he knew of a certain highly secret set of blueprints delivered by the United States Army to a man posing as Sir Robert himself. But according to Pagon, that man is really Count Helan, a dangerous international crook. Just how dangerous, Pagon discovered later, much to his own misfortune.
Pagon, snap out of it.
Rather nasty blow someone's given him, Mr. Thurston.
Yeah, come on, Pagon. Wake up.
Huh? Mr. Thurston, I've been robbed. A whole $1,000 gone with the wind.
You're delirious. Where'd you get $1,000?
Why, for telling him that...
Oh, Helan, huh?
I didn't mean to tell him, Mr. X. He beat me. He threatened to kill me.
Pipe down now. Well, Sir Robert, he's been here now, and he knows who I am. You've got to move. Move fast.
One thing must be clear, Mr. Thurston. We can't let anything happen to Lisa.
I'll go with you on that.
Lisa?
Pagon, your friend, Heland, is holding Lisa Thompson a prisoner somewhere.
I told you he was a crook. Yeah, but why?
To force me to turn over my credentials from the Air Ministry and keep still while he went to New York and picked up those plans.
What a lowlife. And then he stole $1,000 from me.
Helan used to keep a flat up in London in the neighborhood of Covent Garden, a few doors from the Tavistock Hotel. I have the address in my files.
Well, we've got to start looking somewhere. All right, Sir Robert. Let's have that address. Easy now. This is the house.
But maybe he's in there, Mr. X. Right behind the door. But the gun...
Well, I've got one, too, so we're even. Stand to one side.
Good. Nobody home.
Who is it?
Miss Thompson, are you alone?
Yes? Who are you?
I'm Ken Thurston, a friend of your guardian. I've come to take you home.
Oh, thank heaven. I can't let you in, you know. I haven't the key.
And stand back. We'll give it a try. Come on, Pagon.
Sure.
I've given up all hope of ever getting out of here. It's been more than a week.
Oh, well, it's over now, Miss Thompson. This the only room?
No. There are three. Just this one door.
Has Helan been here today?
Helan?
Yeah, the man who's been holding you here.
Oh, but it couldn't be. I didn't see this man's face. He disguised his voice, but it couldn't be Helan. I know him. He's Sir Robert's chauffeur.
Mr. Thurston, somebody's coming.
You're wrong, Mr. Zellschmidt. I'm already here. Put up your hands.
When?
Mr. Norman, that gun's going to get you into trouble.
Are you all right, Lisa? Am I in time?
When? Darling, Mr. Thurston just broke in to rescue me. Of course I'm all right.
But I thought
Miss Thompson, this man with the disguised voice, could it have been Mr. Norman here?
You don't understand. Will and I are engaged. We're going to be married.
Yes. A perfectly silly idea.
I guess it was of that. All right. Let's go back to Beaumont Manor.
Oh, my dear Lisa, you've no idea how I've suffered during the past week, not knowing where you were nor what might have happened to you. Thank heaven you're safe now.
Yes, thanks to Mr. Thurston.
But I don't understand. He says it was Heelan.
Yes, Lisa, dear, I'm afraid it was.
Was it for ransom or what?
Lisa, darling, you don't want to hear about it tonight. You must be terribly nervous after such an ordeal, eh?
I was. But now that I'm back home, silly, of course, I'm just hungry.
Well, we can soon take care of that. I'll have Arthur bring you something. We're very fortunate it all ended as happily as this.
I think you're forgetting something, Sir Robert. As long as those plans are on the loose, the thing hasn't ended. So, I'm going to sit up and wait for Heelan to appear.
But I don't follow you, sir. Why do you expect Heelan to come back here?
Oh, might be several reasons. Revenge, maybe. Or when he finds Miss Thompson's escaped, he might try to get her back. And, of course, it could be that he finds this place attractive. I do.
You seem to be quite fond of billiards, Mr. Thurston.
Yeah, I am, yeah. Seldom get a chance to play, though.
Nice shot. Don't you want the champagne can? I poured it for you 10 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about it. Thanks. It's quiet here with everybody in bed. Isn't there at least a family ghost in the house?
I've never heard of one. You think he'll really come here tonight?
Oh, Heelan. Oh, I'm pretty sure of it.
I suppose I ought to be scared. But I'm not with you here.
And there's Mr. Norman, of course.
He's a nice boy. Would you like some more champagne, Ken?
No, thanks, Lisa. No, I feel a little, dizzy, as a matter of fact.
Dizzy? Something wrong?
I don't know. Oh, it's strange. I feel like...
Ken! Ken, can you hear me? Ken! Good. Shh, why not? Kamerad? Ik ben het, Lisa. Näher kommen. De billardal. Auf die Stelle. Herr Thurston ist unbewusst. Jawohl. Ende gut, alles gut. You.
That's right, Lisa. It's a gun.
It's not unconscious.
No, probably would have been if I hadn't dumped that champagne behind the table.
All right, you're more clever than I thought. How did you find out?
Oh, Lisa. One look at that flat in London. I knew you had to be in on it. 2 street-level windows with a bobby walking his beat in front of him, and you claimed to be a prisoner.
We didn't count on anyone coming there.
Not even possible customers? He even turned the plans for that supersonic missile over to you, didn't he?
I don't remember. Did you care to search me, Ken?
I might later, after I get your partner.
What makes you so sure he'll come here?
For one thing, I heard you call him on the phone, remember?
So, what are you going to do?
Wait here for him, that's all.
It won't be a very long wait, Thurston. Now, drop the gun.
Well, Heelan, you made a quick trip.
I didn't have far to come.
I suppose that's an inter-house phone. You were already here, huh?
Yes, at the gatehouse. What happened, Lisa? You said he was unconscious.
He was only pretending he knew all the time. Kill him now.
Well, that's an interesting suggestion.
It's probably the best idea.
Be all right if I try a shot or two here while you make up your mind?
Go ahead, if your nerve is steady enough.
Better kill him now. I tell you he's clever.
But, my dear Lisa, so am I. Nice shot, Thurston.
Steady nerves and a little luck. That's all it takes.
Maybe. Only your luck is all run out. In the language of your game, Thurston, you're right behind the 8-ball.
You must be thinking of another game, Heelan. There isn't any 8-ball in this one. Now, I suppose the idea is to sell the plans to the highest bidder, is that it?
Oh, it's a much better idea. I'm going to sell them to all the bidders. Any reason for the question?
No, just making conversation. It helps things. Oh, sorry.
Don't cut.
Drop the cue. Maybe you're not so calm after all.
Oh, leave it lie. I'll use another one out of the rack. This one ought to do just as well. No, Lisa. I'll take that gun, thanks. I'll get back.
What are you going to do? You won't shoot me. You can't turn me in.
Oh, can't I?
Mr. Thurston, where are you?
In here, Pagan.
Well, I got it all taken care of, Mr. Thurston. We got the joints surrounded. Scotland Yard is all over the place. We'll catch this double-crossing. Hey, what's happened?
Argument over a billiard game. You're too late. It's all over.
It's Count Heeland, huh? Out like a wet blanket. Mr. X, did you find the blueprints?
Oh, I'm pretty certain Lisa's carrying them.
Well, then, that's that. And all's well that ends well.
Just what Lisa said. Ende gut, alles gut. Only it hasn't ended yet, Pega. Because here and there, all over the world, there are people like these two who are always ready to sell out to the highest bidder. As long as fair-minded humans are being put behind the 8 ball, then we can't expect very many things in this old world to end well.
Frigidaire star Herbert Marshall.
Thanks, Wen. Tonight's something of an occasion because it marks the beginning of the second year with us of 2 people who've meant a great deal to our Frigidaire program. One is Johnny Green, whose fine composing and conducting have given us such outstanding music week after week. And the other is our director, Jack Johnstone, whose able guidance is seldom fully appreciated outside the studio. We owe a great deal to them. We think a great deal of them, and we would like you to know it. Next week, our story is called Spirit of the Snows, and I think it's a honey. As usual, of course, Leon Belasco will be along as Pagon Zerschmidt. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the man called X. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X is directed by Jack Johnstone, with music composed and conducted by Johnny Green. Tonight's story was written by Les Crutchfield. And so until next week, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. All characters and incidents used on this program are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons or incidents is purely coincidental. Remember, every Sunday night brings you 2 popular dramatic shows on CBS, The Man Called X and The Adventures of Sam Spade. Yes, for the best in entertainment, tune in and stay tuned in to CBS, the biggest show in town. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. You're twice as sure with 2 great names, Frigidaire and General Motors. Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as the Man Called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, in all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find the Man Called X. Now Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as Ken Thurston, the Man Called X. North of India, in the shadow of the great range of the Himalayas, lies the tiny forbidden land of Shalakar, its narrow streets swarming with men of 100 tongues and races, holy men from Lhasa, firewalkers from the Ganges, and beggars, jugglers, and yogis from the plains of Bengali to the south. Dark pagodas hide away the idols of gods long forgotten in the world outside. Little known beyond its borders, such is the last land of mystery, Shalakar.
In regard to the charges of fraud and false dealing made against you, Mr. Norris, and against your American Eastern Export Company, the High Court of Shalakar finds you guilty.
Now, wait a minute, Panchine.
You are therefore ordered to leave Shalakar within 5 days and never to return.
Look, I got permission to prospect here in Shalakar from the old Maharaja himself before he died last year. And if you think
Mr. Norris, the permission is hereby revoked.
Okay, I'll take this whole thing to the Rani herself.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Norris. The order is signed by the Rani.
But I tell you I'm innocent. I don't even know what this is all about. I don't even know yet what it's all about. But, gentlemen, there's one thing certain. I'm innocent of those charges.
Yeah, I think you are, Fred. Too bad, Chief.
Yes, it is, Ken.
What about the American consul, Fred? Did you take it up with him?
Well, we don't have a consul there, Ken. I was the only American in Shalakar.
And you say the Rani refused to talk to you?
Wouldn't even see me. As a matter of fact, she seldom does receive visitors. I've only seen her twice since her father died last year and she took over the throne. Oh, boy.
Huh?
Gentlemen, I think the Rani of Shalakar is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Which is, of course, beside the point.
Oh, of course, sure.
Yeah. But one fact remains. Somebody falsified the business records that were entered at my trial. Who, I don't know. That's what I hoped you could find out.
Well, I sympathize with your position, Mr. Norris, but this kind of problem isn't really the concern of the Bureau.
I don't know, Chief. I think maybe it is. Fred has discovered more new oil lands in remote parts of the world than any other man alive.
Oil? Well, Ken, why didn't you...
As the only American in Shalakar, Fred Norris represented America to those people. As far as they're concerned, he is America.
Yes, I see what you mean. But there's not a thing the Bureau can do about it, Ken. Officially.
That's right, Chief. We can't touch it. Officially.
No, simply out of the question.
Yeah. By the way, that vacation I was going to take, I suppose I might as well start it today.
Why, sure, Ken. There's nothing much doing right now. 2 weeks be enough?
Oh, plenty. All right. Guess I better let Miss Brooks know about it.
Yeah. Have a good time, Ken. Forget all about your official duties.
Thanks, Chief. Oh, Miss Brooks.
Oh, yes? Hello, Mr. Thurman.
Oh, Pagon, what are you doing here?
I was only waiting to see if you needed my services.
I don't. I'm going on a vacation.
Oh.
Mr. Zellschmidt was talking about my new dress. Do you like it, Mr. Thurston?
Gives it that new look.
Yeah, it's quite a dress.
Well, when it comes to a new fashion, I'm just like every other woman. Maybe it's silly, but I simply can't resist spending my money.
Just a minute. Pagon, go on home and pack.
Huh?
I got a job for you. Sales representative for a New York designer.
Well, that's a traveling salesman. I'll be ready in 10 minutes. Hey, by the way, what am I selling?
Ladies' underwear.
Huh? Mr. Thirst, no!
I will be most happily pleased to publish your advertisement in the Royal Palace Bulletin, Sahib, but since you are American, perhaps you will pay in advance.
Anybody think I was a crook? Here.
Thank you. Now, is this the correct wording? Monsieur Le Zellschmidt, New York designer, will stop for 3 days in Shalakar before continuing to Burma.
Yeah.
Exclusive models of the newest feminine fashions will be shown to a select clientele by appointment only. Call at Suite 27, House of the Golden Eye.
Don't look at me like that. Wasn't my idea. Look at them, Mr. X. Snake charmers, acrobats, guys sitting on boards full of nails. This town must be getting ready for a circus.
No, Pagon, this goes on here all the time.
Hey, look.
You mean that pit with the fire burning in it?
Sure. It's full of red-hot boulders. Hey, maybe they're going to have a barbecue.
It's a ceremony. Fire walking. The true believers walk through it.
Huh? Oh, they get cooked like chicken.
No. Some of them really do it.
Oh, but how?
For the love of Allah.
It's that same beggar, Mr. X. The one you already gave money to twice.
Yeah, so I see.
Sahib, you will help a poor beggar, please.
Sorry. You can't make a good thing last forever.
You will give nothing to the chosen of heaven.
Not this time.
You hear him, my brothers? The dog has insulted me.
Yeah, now, take it easy.
He is American. He has come to steal from us.
All right, calm down now.
Mr. Thurston's got a knife.
Yeah. Okay, you asked for it.
Uh-oh. Now they're all mad at us. What are we going to do, Mr. Thurston?
Back against the wall there. Easy, Pagon. I don't want to shoot unless I have to.
They got knives, too. Oh, I should have stayed in New York.
All right, now. Now, you murdered idiots.
Look, we got help.
Sullen about it, eh? All right, then. That'll do it every time, sir. All it takes, a couple of shots over their heads.
Yeah. Looks as if you're right. Thanks. My name's Ken Thurston.
Colonel Blake, sir, retired 25 years with His Majesty's service in India.
How are you?
Mr. Thurston, that beggar you knocked down, he's gone.
Yeah, you really should have done the blighter in, you know. Saved yourself a lot of trouble later.
Well, pretty rough treatment for a beggar who only lost his temper.
Beggar? I hardly think so, Mr. Thurston. That fellow was a dacoit.
A dacoit?
Yes, a member of the cult of professional murderers. Somebody hired him to kill you.
Oh, 3 hours now we'll wait up here in this room, Mr. X. If somebody's going to answer that screw advertisement, then why don't they?
Give them time, Pagan.
Anyway, who is interested in new fashions in a place like this?
Or maybe the Rani. At least I hope she is.
Bet she's an old battle axe with a double chin.
Fred Norris said she was the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen.
Oh, well, that case no, she won't answer.
Maybe not. But one thing's certain. With the feeling that's got started around here, she's not going to let any American into the palace unless she's tricked into it.
Do you think maybe she really will, Mr. X? Who's that?
Come in.
Good evening, Sahib. I am from the royal palace of Shalakar. I am searching for a Monsieur le Zelschmidt.
That's me!
Her Royal Highness the Rani wishes an audience with you, monsieur. You will come with me, please?
But I mean, yes. I'm as good as gone. So long, Mr. Thurston.
Good luck, Pagan. And before you pass out with ecstasy, don't forget to give her that letter.
Letter? Oh, sure, I'll remember. My good man, to the harem, and don't spare the horses.
All right, come on in. Now, Pagan, I thought... Oh, Colonel Blake.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Thurston.
Sit down. Thought Pagan had forgotten something. He only left here 5 minutes ago.
I know, I saw him in the street.
He's, on his way to the palace of the Rani.
Mr. Thurston, I think you may be playing a much more dangerous game here than you realize.
What makes you think so, Colonel?
When a man spends his life in this part of the world, he learns to recognize danger.
Yeah, I suppose he does.
It was a mistake to hire a band of dacoits, you know. They're treacherous.
What gave you the idea that I hired a dacoits?
The evidence of my own eyes. When I saw Mr. Zelschmidt in the street a while ago, he was accompanied by 6 of them.
What? Colonel Blake.
You mean you didn't hire them?
No. Somebody did. And there's only one reason for hiring dacoits. Of course you knew that, though. Didn't you, Colonel?
And now to continue with Frigidaire's Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall. An American company is convicted of fraud in the High Court of Shalakar, and 140 million Americans thereby stand accused with no chance of defending themselves. On a 2-week leave of absence from the Bureau, Ken Thurston has gone to the mysterious little country to look into the matter unofficially. An hour ago, Pagan fell into the hands of a gang of dacoits, a cult of professional killers. And right now, Ken stands in a room of the Rani's palace.
So sorry to keep you waiting. Is there something I can do for you?
So it's you. Yes, there is. Where's Pagan?
I do not know of any Pagan.
Well, Monsieur Zelschmidt, then. He left to come here about an hour ago. With you. What happened to him?
You are mistaken, Mr. Thurston. I have never seen you before, nor the man you speak of.
Like that, eh? All right. I'd like to talk to the Rani.
Certainly. If you would care to send her a letter stating your reasons, perhaps it might be arranged in a few months.
Her Royal Highness, the Rani of Shalakar.
Your Highness.
I have just seen the most interesting... Oh, Pancheen. Who is this man?
Hardly one deserving your attention, Highness.
Suppose I decide that for myself.
But your
That will do. You will wait at the other side of the room.
Very well, Highness.
Pancheen is sometimes an almost too faithful guardian.
Who are you?
My name's Ken Thurston.
Thurston, nice. What did you wish to see me about?
About a friend of mine. Apparently, Panshin kidnapped him.
Panshin, is this true?
This statement is false, Highness.
Oh?
He is American.
Oh, I see. Mr. Thurston, I presume you have lodgings in the city?
Yep. The House of the Golden Eye.
May I suggest you return there immediately? And as soon as possible, get out of Shalakar? Otherwise, who knows? Perhaps you too might disappear.
Maybe you're jumping to conclusions, Colonel Blake. I didn't say anything about going out looking for trouble.
Well, after all, Mr. Thurston, when a man cleans and oils an automatic pistol, he usually has something on his mind.
Yeah, I suppose he does a bit.
Be glad to go along and help, you know. I'm still a pretty fair shot.
Wouldn't think of it. No point in you getting mixed up in this.
Exactly what are your plans, Mr. Thurston?
I don't know for sure. One way or another, I'm going to find Pagan or find out what happened to him.
I'd be a lot of help. Know the country and all that, and I'd rather enjoy a bit of excitement, you know. It gets frightfully dull sometimes, being retired.
Well, this will be anything but dull.
Eh?
Sit still. Well.
Let me in, please, quickly.
Well, by George, it's the run.
Oh, Colonel Blake.
I'm highly honored.
Never mind that now, please. Maybe... I thought you would be alone, Mr. Thurston.
I say, it's getting late here. I hope you won't think it rude if I say good night.
Not a bit, Colonel. Good night. Well, I suppose you dropped in to make sure I got out of town.
No, please forget anything I said earlier tonight. None of us can be sure when it is safe to speak the truth.
You think it is safe with me?
Yes. Please, come back to the palace with me. To my own quarters. We can be fairly safe there.
Why? Why the palace?
Because I have the papers from the trial of Mr. Norris there.
Well, all right, let's go. Well, that's that. If these business records were used as evidence in the Norris trial, they show one thing pretty clearly. The trial was a fake.
There was pressure put on the court, Ken. I suspected
As far as I'm concerned, they proved definitely who was behind it. That's all I've been waiting for. Proof.
Apparently, he's stolen nearly $500,000 during the last year, then thrown the blame on the American Export Company to cover up the fraud.
Yeah, but there's more than that back of it, Your Highness. We
Yes.
both know that.
Yes. It is all a part of the plan to discredit the American company, keep out foreign ideas, hold the people in ignorance.
And that doesn't fit in with your plans?
Mine are the same as my father's were. He realized there were benefits in the outside world that could be given to people. He knew it would take time. And I've tried to carry that on, but he would never dare if my father was still alive. But in the Orient, Ken, the throne with a woman on it, it is fair game for any man.
Well, I don't see much of any way around that.
It is a fabulous land lying out there in the moonlight, Ken. A land to challenge the will of a great man. It waits to be molded into something finer. That would be the work of a lifetime.
And a pretty important work, too.
By the customs of my people, a man who marries the Rani becomes the Maharaja of Shalakar.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know what I'm saying? These are my private quarters of the palace, Ken. No man has ever been in this room before.
Not even behind those curtains?
Ken, there's a knife!
Stand back, Sonny, look out.
Ken, auntie, Ken! He's gone. He got away.
Yeah. I was afraid of hitting you.
It was a dacoit.
I know. Same one I met earlier.
What shall we do, Ken? He will know now we have found out about him.
Where do you think he might be? Got any idea?
Yes. Probably go to the Black Pagoda.
Black Pagoda.
It is the temple of the dacoits. I think he has managed to get control over them.
All right. Our best bet is to rush him before he gets organized. Come on. Let's head for the Black Pagoda.
Hello? Yes? Blake speaking. Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. The Black Pagoda, eh? All right. I'll be there right away. Play 'em close to the table and be careful. Right. Goodbye. So it's out in the open now. This lad Thurston works pretty fast once he gets started.
Lord, does that crowd live here in the street? Don't they ever go to bed?
They've been here all night, Ken. It is the Dakisha, the ceremony of walking through a pit of fire. It begins at the first sign of dawn.
Well, they've got to shove through them some way to get over there to the pagoda. Go on, Your Highness.
Ken, wait. There he is now.
The dacoit?
No, he.
On his way to the pagoda.
He's seen us.
Yeah, take it easy.
Hello, Mr. Thurston. Your Highness, looks like a bit of excitement, eh?
That's right, Colonel. You got a gun?
Yes. Found him out yet?
Over there. He's trying to sneak through the mob. Circle the crowd around the firewalkers. Head him off from getting inside the temple. I'll go for him here.
Right. And thanks for calling me. Wouldn't have missed this for anything.
I'm going with you, Ken.
Oh, no, you're not. Panshin would kill you just as soon as he would me. You wait here.
Be careful, Ken, please. Be careful.
I'll stand aside, please. Sorry, pardon me. Panshin! Excuse me, please. Panshin, stop! You haven't got a chance. Out of my way with you. Wait, you fool! Look out! Good Lord, he slipped and fell right into the fire. Yeah, let me through. One side, please. Oh, no.
Ken, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
In that pit of fire. He lived about 3 seconds. Come on, let's get away from here.
He tried to jump across. I saw him fall.
Well, forgive him. Forget him. I've still got to find Pagan.
No, wait. There he comes now with Colonel Blake.
Yeah. Seems to be in pretty good shape.
Ken, before they get here. I mean, Norris can come back and go on with his work, of course, but... Well, we were talking about...
About what?
About the throne of Shalakar. And about other things.
This is a fine kind of a vacation, Mr. Thurston. I get knocked on the head, tied with ropes, and maybe even they were going to cut me in pieces.
I saw from the temple steps what happened to Panshin, Mr. Thurston.
Yeah, pretty rough ending, Colonel. Have any trouble with the guards?
No. They took to their heels when they saw their leader was dead.
Mr. Thurston, I told you anybody would get cooked in that fire pit. You said they walked right through it.
Only the true believers, Pagan. Panshin didn't believe in anything except power. And all the bad that goes with it. He kindled a fire in the ignorance of the people he wanted to exploit. Isn't it strange how often men with their own hands light the fire that finally destroys them?
Now, Frigidaire star Herbert Marshall.
Thanks for being with us. Next week, our story bears a strange title. It's called Carbon-14, which is the name of a substance known to science that may affect the destiny of the whole world. As usual, Leon Belasco will be along as Pagan Zellschmidt. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the man called X. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X is directed by Jack Johnstone, with music composed and conducted by Johnny Green. Tonight's story was written by Les Crutchfield. So until next week, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. All characters and incidents used on this program are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons or incidents is purely coincidental. Remember, every Sunday night brings you 2 popular dramatic shows on CBS, The Man Called X and The Adventures of Sam Spade. Yes, for the best in entertainment, tune in and stay tuned in to CBS, the biggest show in town. CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.